According to this week's Sky Indicators, we are broadcasting straight to you from the absolute most sparkling, radiant corner of the cosmos.
We really are. And honestly, it is such a joy to be looking down from our little spaceship today. Welcome to this week's energies for the week of March 23rd, 2026, my dears.
Yes, we have the absolute best, entirely custom-tailored cosmic news waiting just for you, our genius and free-spirited Kova listeners.
But wait, haha, Aquariuses are notoriously impatient.
Oh my God, yes, they are always living like 5 years in the future.
Exactly. So I am just skipping the pleasantries and getting straight to the point. Oh my God, my honeys, can you look at the chances for Aquarius this week?
It is incredible. It will absolutely make you smile. The sky is, well, it's practically throwing confetti for our dear Aquariuses right now.
It really is. This week is entirely about waking up, shedding those heavy, restrictive coats of winter, and just stepping directly into your true power.
Right, because the universe has basically been putting our brilliant water bears through this grueling waiting room phase. But thank goodness, cosmic traffic jam is finally clearing up.
I am practically vibrating in my seat because the energy is so electric. We are looking at massive planetary shifts here.
Huge. I mean, Mercury and Jupiter are finally waking up from their sluggish retrogrades, and there is this rare 28-year cosmic conversation happening between the Sun and Saturn.
Which is going to entirely rock your world. But let's start with the immediate relief first.
Yes, let's. So Mercury, our planet of communication, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion, are turning direct right in the Aquarius financial and self-worth sectors.
And honestly, hasn't the past few months felt exactly like running on a treadmill?
Oh, completely. You are sweating, your legs are burning.
But you look down and you haven't moved a single inch?
It is the ultimate frustration for an air sign. I mean, and Aquarius needs forward momentum to just feel alive.
Right. And when Jupiter is retrograde in your second house of resources, all that expansive energy just turns inward. It becomes this internal review instead of an external reward.
Yeah, you try saving money, you put a little cash away, and instantly, bam, an unexpected expense pops up to drain it.
Exactly. The car needs a repair, the sink breaks, or someone suddenly needs a loan. But, my nice-hearted listeners, celebrate! Because that internalized struggle is officially over.
Thank the stars.
I know. From this week all the way until July, the cage is open. It is your time to accumulate, to really grow and recover, especially for our Aquariuses running their own businesses.
I totally see how the cash flow opens up there, but I kind of want to look at the psychology behind this too.
Oh, definitely. Let's get into it.
Because, you don't need me to tell you that Jupiter going direct brings luck. But what's really unique here is how it's hitting the self-worth sector.
Right, because an Aquarius doesn't usually care about money just for the sake of status.
Exactly. They aren't buying sports cars to show off. They want money. Because, to a Kova, money equals freedom.
Yes. And that brings us to the deeper psychological mechanism at play. This transit is fundamentally expanding your self-esteem.
Which is so needed. Aquariuses are notoriously generous with their visionary minds. You guys give your absolute best ideas to your communities, your friends, your employers, often totally for free.
So true. You are humanitarians at heart, which means you frequently, devalue your own individual genius just for the sake of the collective.
Right. But as Jupiter moves forward, it forces this profound realization of the true value of your labor. The universe is basically wrapping its arms around you and saying, you deserve to be compensated generously for your brilliant ideas.
You are finally getting the respect and the return on investment that you have been working so hard for.
But wait, my honeys, there's a serious catch.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
I have to keep it real with you, and I'm putting my foot down. Before you run out and celebrate this financial glow-up, we have to talk about a very sneaky little detail hiding in the stars.
Ah, yes. Mercury is currently in what we call a stationary or shadow phase right now, just before it speeds up.
The cosmic trickster is standing perfectly still, and I'm looking at this stationary Mercury, and it honestly terrifies me for an Aquarius.
It really is a trap.
Because when Mercury is stationary, it's not just paused. It's like a power drill spinning in one exact spot. It is drilling a hole right into your financial sector.
Oh, wow. Yes, that is exactly what it feels like.
This is why you're going to get the sudden, overwhelming urge to make incredibly impulsive luxury purchases this week. Because, going back to what we just said, you mistake spending money for exercising your core value of freedom.
Right. You see some eccentric $3,000 avant-garde piece of home decor, or like a sudden first-class flight upgrade.
And you think, I am a free spirit, I deserve this right now.
It is so true, and it is such an illusion. When Mercury is stationary, our judgment regarding value is entirely warped.
Completely warped.
That drill is spinning so fast that it creates friction and heat, making you feel this false sense of urgency. You feel like if you don't buy that neon geometric lamp right this second, you will lose your autonomy.
Uh-huh. Put the credit card down, my dears. I see you looking at that online cart.
Seriously, step away from the cart.
I am warning you. Past retrograde purchases might suddenly arrive in the mail this week, and you will stare at that bizarre lamp thinking, why in the world did I buy that?
Exactly. So please hold off on maxing out your cards on random goods or wild travel upgrades just yet. Wait until the end of the week when Mercury truly picks up forward speed.
When the drill stops smoking.
Yes. That is exactly the kind of tough love they need right now. Because when you truly know your value, you don't need to prove your freedom to yourself with impulsive purchases.
Absolutely.
And once you've finally asserted your worth internally, that boundary-setting energy doesn't just switch off. You have to communicate those newly realized boundaries to the outside world.
Which perfectly brings us to the absolute centerpiece of the week, the 28-year cosmic conversation.
Oh my gosh, I have chills just looking at the chart for this.
Same. My nice-hearted listeners, the Sun is conjoining Saturn in Aries for the first time in 28 whole years.
And Aries is your communication sector.
Right. But to make this completely historic, they are linking directly to Pluto, the planet of ultimate fiery transformation, which is sitting right inside your sign, Aquarius.
The sheer historical magnitude of this alignment, I mean, it cannot be overstated. We are talking about an energy configuration that shapes decades of your life.
Wow. Let's break down the mechanics of that for them.
So Saturn brings intense discipline, reality, and structure. It is the strict taskmaster. The Sun brings a massive spotlight illuminating whatever it touches.
And Aries is the sign of raw, unfiltered, pioneering courage.
Exactly. But let's unpack this carefully, my honeys. Saturn is traditionally very heavy restrictive energy. It's the planet of rules and limitations.
So I have to ask, how does an Aquarius, who naturally rebels against rules, find the raw courage to speak up when Saturn is basically throwing a weighted blanket over their communication sector?
That is a brilliant question. See, in Aries, Saturn doesn't act like a weighted blanket. It acts like a megaphone made of solid lead.
Oh, I love that image.
It doesn't restrict your voice. It demands that your voice has absolute, unshakable authority. Saturn here is like the reluctant general.
Reluctant general. That makes perfect sense.
Right. And Aquarius usually wants to be the quirky, eccentric genius standing in the corner, observing everyone else. You don't want to be the boss.
No, not usually.
But this 28-year transit drags you to the center of the room, hands you the microphone, and forces you to lay down the law. It demands a serious reality check.
Wow. And we have to factor in Pluto's role in this too, because Pluto isn't just a planet of change. Pluto acts like a cosmic rototiller.
Yes, exactly.
Right now, it is violently digging up the soil of your first house of identity, turning over all the dead roots and weeds so new things can grow. That's why you feel so deeply unsettled. Your very foundation is literally being churned.
It really is. And, you know, we often fall into the trap of thinking that fate only changes when massive, dramatic events happen, like a lightning strike, a lottery win, a sudden move.
Right. But that's simply not true.
Not at all. With Saturn and the Sun illuminating your words and Pluto churning your identity, fate is shifting on a microscopic level.
Right.
Sometimes a single bravely spoken sentence changes the entire course of a life.
A single bravely spoken sentence. Wow. That is the assignment for this week, Kova.
Absolutely.
It is time to have that difficult, uncomfortable conversation you have been avoiding for months, maybe even years. This is about drawing a heavy line in the sand and saying, this is exactly who I am now, and this is what I will no longer accept.
And the cosmos is actually giving you a protective shield to do this. Because Venus, our planet of love and harmony, is perfectly conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer, right now.
The timing of that is just breathtaking.
It really is. Chiron represents our deepest, oldest emotional traumas, and Venus brings this soothing, harmonizing balm.
Right, which means communication this week isn't just a megaphone. It also acts as a surgical scalpel. This brave conversation has the power to surgically remove and heal an old, deep emotional wound.
Yes, this could be with a friend you had a bitter falling out with, or maybe a sibling where there has been a freezing cold war of silence since, like, 2020.
Oh, definitely. Or even a close business connection that just needs the toxic air cleared.
Sure.
You have the power to step up, speak your truth, and wash away years of deeply ingrained misunderstanding.
But, and this is a big but, we must navigate this terrain with extreme caution.
Oh, tell me more.
While the raw courage is there and the healing potential is immense, we have to look at the water elements flooding the sky right now. The moon and Neptune are currently teaming up to cause some severe cosmic brain fog.
Oh gosh, I know this feeling intimately. It's like walking through a glittering, beautiful cloud, but you absolutely cannot see 2 feet in front of your own face.
Precisely. Neptune dissolves boundaries and creates illusions. So while you have this powerful, Saturn-backed urge to communicate your new boundaries, your mind might currently feel like a chaotic intersection.
It's like 50 foxes are running around at top speed, but somehow miraculously not bumping into each other.
50 foxes running around. Why is that the most accurate description of the inside of an Aquarius brain?
Because it's true. Your thoughts are quick, wild, and incredibly clever, but Neptune is filling the forest with thick fog. So, how do we speak with the absolute authority of Saturn when our brain is full of foggy foxes?
By exercising extreme energetic conservation. Because your mind is racing with all these brilliant, scattered thoughts, you must not overbook your schedule.
Right, keep it simple.
But more importantly, you must not exhaust your precious energy trying to explain your grand vision to people who are absolutely committed to misunderstanding you.
Let me shout that from the spaceship roof. If your stubborn relative or a toxic coworker wants to take your words out of context, let them be wrong.
Yes. Let them be miserable in their misunderstanding.
You do not have the time or the energy to be their personal translator. Speak your truth with Saturn's authority. Heal your wounds with Venus, and then fiercely protect your peace.
Protect your peace at all costs. Because once you've asserted your worth at work and drawn your boundaries in your relationships, that energy doesn't just politely switch off when you clock out for the day.
No, it follows you straight home, which perfectly explains why Uranus is about to tear through your domestic life.
Yes. Let's talk about the home surprises.
So, the moon is meeting up with Uranus this week. And my dears, Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So whenever Uranus is activated, you don't just feel it emotionally, you feel it buzzing deep in your physical bones.
You really do. This meetup is bringing a restless, highly unexpected, almost manic energy straight to your living room.
And it all wraps up with a deeply emotional, watery new moon in Pisces.
It is an incredibly dynamic, potentially disruptive environment at home right now. The fourth house, dealing with home and family, is a fascinating area for an air sign.
Because air needs to constantly circulate.
Exactly. When an environment feels emotionally stagnant, an Aquarius feels physically suffocated.
Which brings me back to something I was thinking about earlier. I am looking at this Uranus placement, and it feels entirely counterintuitive.
How so?
Well, we established that the Aquarius is exhausted from the retrograde treadmill and those heavy Saturn conversations, right? Usually, profound exhaustion makes people completely shut down and sleep for days.
Right.
But here, Uranus is making them manic at 2:00 a.m. Is it because when an Aquarius is emotionally drained by family dynamics, they try to assert control over their physical environment instead?
Oh, you have hit the nail directly on the head. When we lack control over the emotional currents in a room, we manipulate the physical objects in that room to create new energetic pathways.
That makes so much sense.
This week, there will likely be family gatherings, obligations, or social events where our dear Aquariuses feel profoundly alienated.
Oh, totally. Imagine being the one stuck in the kitchen, serving the coffee, cutting the cake, doing all the practical, thankless labor.
While everyone else is laughing and having deep, wonderful conversations in the other room, you feel entirely unseen.
That is the absolute worst feeling in the world. Being completely surrounded by your family or roommates, but feeling entirely alone on an island because your unique, quirky self isn't being appreciated.
It really is.
So to cope with that unseen feeling, you wait until everyone is asleep and you quietly drag a heavy sofa across the rug because you suddenly realize the feng shui of the room is blocking your creative aura.
Yes. Or you wake up and announce, I am throwing away half my belongings and moving to a new city.
Exactly. It's a physical rebellion against emotional stagnation.
It is. But we have to find a better strategy to handle this chaotic family and home energy. If you are exhausted, but Uranus is making you restless and the new moon is making you overly emotional, you are heading straight for burnout.
So what is the prescription? How do we navigate this without breaking our backs, moving furniture, or starting a family feud over the coffee cups?
We look to the mechanics of the Pisces new moon. Right now, your internal energy is like a house with a blown electrical fuse.
Okay, I'm following.
You are emotionally overloaded.
Hmm.
If you try to force the lights back on by flipping the switch harder and harder, by moving the sofa, by forcing a relative to understand you, by demanding the home project be finished, you are just going to break the switch completely.
Oh, wow. That is such a vivid way to put it. You can't punch your way out of the dark.
No, you cannot. You have to let the universe go down to the basement and reset the breaker for you. Think of water flowing down a mountain.
Okay.
When water hits a massive, immovable boulder, it doesn't stop and try to punch the boulder out of the way. It doesn't exhaust itself fighting the rock. It simply finds the path of least resistance and reroutes itself around the obstacle.
So we need to act like the water.
Mhm.
We need to stop fighting the boulders in our living rooms.
I urge you, my dear Aquariuses, do not force anything this week. Do not force the switch.
If family plans suddenly cancel, or if the train is delayed,
Or if a home renovation project completely stalls because a part is missing, do not rage against it. Just surrender.
surrender to the velvet couch you didn't move. Take a nap. Rest those brilliant, overactive minds.
Sit in the dark for a moment and let the cosmos reset the breaker.
Let the universe do the heavy lifting. I absolutely love that. Because if you just let the water flow, by next week, it will have found its perfect path.
Exactly. The obstacles will naturally wash away and you will find yourself exactly where you need to be without having exhausted your precious energy fighting the current.
It requires an immense amount of trust, but it is so deeply necessary.
Because they are going through a profound structural metamorphosis right now. We aren't just looking at isolated astrological events. This is a complete architectural rebuild of their reality.
It really is. Let's pull all these threads together because the narrative of this week is just spectacular.
It is a massive week.
We talked about Jupiter and Mercury, finally allowing your money and self-worth to expand, as long as you avoid the stationary drill of impulsive spending.
Right. Step away from the cart.
Yes. We unpacked the 28-year Saturn cycle, giving you the reluctant general's courage to speak your truth and use the scalpel of communication to heal old wounds.
And we just discussed finding peace, stepping away from the blown fuse, and letting the universe flow through your restless home life.
And hovering over all of this, driving the entire engine of change, is Pluto.
Yes. Which brings us to our final thrilling thought for you to carry through the rest of your week.
With Pluto, the great cosmic rototiller, sitting right in your sign, my brilliant Aquariuses, you must realize something fundamental.
All of these shifts, the delays in your money, the sudden fierce clarity in your words, the manic restlessness in your home, they aren't just random, annoying events happening to you.
No, they are happening for you. They are the physical evidence of you shedding an old, suffocating skin.
It is the most beautiful transformation to witness. The friction you feel is just the old skin peeling away to make room for the new.
So I want you to ask yourself, and really think about this when you were resting on that couch. When the cosmic dust finally settles on this week, who is the powerful new version of you that is going to emerge?
What a magnificent place to arrive at. Because whoever they are, they know the exact value of their worth. They speak their truth without apologizing, and they absolutely trust the flow of the universe.
Beautifully said. We are sending you so much love, warmth, and glittering space energy as you navigate these massive shifts. You have all the cosmic tools you need, Kova.
You really do. Next week, your Aquarius is waiting for even more big surprises. In order not to miss it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel called What Do Stars Say?
Yes. And my nice-hearted listeners, if you liked our horoscope interpretation of this week, don't forget to like it. Don't be shy to share your comment with us. We want to hear all about the difficult conversations and the furniture moving.
Let us know how it goes.
We love you. See you next week.